Hello, how are you all? I hope you're doing well. I am going to read to you something today that I think you are really going to enjoy, and it's super relevant to the times. I actually originally heard this on Glenn Beck's podcast a few years before. He read this poem to his audience. And if I remember correctly, he actually said this was one of his favorite poems of all time, if not his favorite poem of all time. And I have to tell you, it's up there with me. And it was written in 1919. And when I go through it, just listen to the specifics of it, especially towards the end. It will blow your mind. History definitely repeats itself. So this is a poem called The Gods of the Copybook Headings by Rudyard Kipling. And before we start, I'll give you a quick little interpretation of the meaning behind it. His gods of the copybook headings are, in effect, those rules of human conduct that are so well defined by centuries of experience they have become immutable. To disregard them, says Kipling, will inevitably lead to failure and destruction. It's those rules of human nature, the laws that you cannot just deny, and to deny them, to deny human nature, and to attempt to be progressive, to put mankind over what human nature already is, will always lead to failure and destruction. So let's start the poem. As I pass through my incarnations in every age and race, I make the proper prostrations to the gods of the marketplace. Peering through reverent fingers, I watch them flourish and fall, and the gods of the copybook headings I notice outlast them all. We were living in the trees when they met us. They showed us each in turn that water would certainly wet us, and as fire would certainly burn. But we found them lacking in uplift, vision, and breadth of mind, so we let them teach the gorillas while we followed the march of mankind. We moved as the spirit listed, they never altered their pace, but neither cloud nor wind born like the gods of the marketplace. But they always caught up with our progress, and presently word would come that the tribe had been wiped off its ice field, or the lights had gone out in Rome. With the hopes of our world is built on, they were utterly out of touch. They denied that the moon was Stilton. They denied she was even Dutch. They denied that the wishes were horses. They denied that the pigs had wings. So we worshipped the gods of the market, who promised these beautiful things. When the Cambrian measures were forming, they promised perpetual peace. They swore if we gave them our weapons that the wars of the tribes would cease. But when we disarmed, they sold us and delivered us bound to our foe, and the gods of the copybook headings said, "Stick to the devil you know." On the first Fenian sandstones, we were promised the fuller life, which started by loving our neighbor and ended by loving his wife. Till our women had no more children, and the men had lost reason and faith. And the gods of the copybook headings said, "The wages of sin is death." In the Caribbean Fuchsius, in the Caribbean Fuchsius epic, we were promised abundance for all by robbing selected Peter to pay for collective Paul. But though we had plenty of money, there was nothing our money could buy, and the gods of the copybook headings said, "If you don't work, you die." Then the gods of the market tumbled, and their smooth-tongued wizards withdrew, and the hearts of the meanest were humbled, and began to believe it was true, that all is not gold that glitters, and two make four, and the gods of the copybook headings limped up to explain it once more. As it will be in the future, as it was at the birth of man, there are only four things certain since social progress began. The dog returns to his vomit, and the sow returns to her mire, and the burnt fool's bandaged finger goes wobbling back to the fire. And after all this is accomplished and the brave new world begins, when all men are paid for existing and no man must pay for his sins, as surely as water will wet us, as surely as fire will burn, the gods of the copybook headings with terror and slaughter return. Isn't that incredible? It was written in 1919. Some of the specifics that stand out to me: by robbing selected Peter to pay for collective Paul. All is not gold that glitters, and two make four. They swore if we gave them our weapons, that the wars of the tribes would cease, but when we disarmed, they sold us and delivered us bound to our foe. Till our women had no more children and the men lost reason and faith. I think it's a part of human nature, especially when you live in a prosperous society where you literally have everything you need at your fingertips. Of course, there are things that you want that are always not available to you, but as far as essentials, as far as living a comfortable and healthy and prosperous life, you essentially have everything that you need. I feel that there is this urge with human nature to find meaning. And if you're not finding meaning with God or whatever your religion is, with family, with a service, with those things, then I think you search for it in other places. And I think that's where you have a lot of our social justice warriors. We're all about social progress. We need progress, when in actuality, the answer to everything is to go back to those laws of human nature, to go back to the wisdoms that always were. Those rules of human conduct that are so well defined by centuries of experience, they have become immutable. To disregard them, says Kipling, will inevitably lead to failure and destruction. Is that what we are not seeing right now? The progressives are, look at all the progressive cities. They don't look so great. There's a lot of destruction. All of the most progressive cities are the most unsafe, the most unaffordable. I have experience with that. So I hope you enjoyed that poem. I certainly did, and I like to bring that out every now and then and read it. It's wild to read things that were written so long ago, and they're so relevant even to these times. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and have a lovely day.